Ultramonials at libertyultramonials.com. Always read and follow label directions.
Wellness starts with prevention. Book your annual appointment online today with SIU Center for Family Medicine in Lincoln by clicking their icon on DeWittDailyNews.com.
DeWittDailyNews.com is the area's leading local news source 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Get the latest local news, obituaries, police blotter, weather forecast, and more with no paywall. Head to DeWittDailyNews.com to get the local information you need to know.
From the Hart Media Group newsroom and DeWittDailyNews.com, I'm Ben Hubbard with this expanded morning newscast. Good morning and thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Ben Hubbard. You're listening to the WHOW Morning Show. A new manufacturer in Clinton is looking for around 30 skilled laborers for its new operations, and those interested can come out for a job fair this week. Meyer Structure Towers, a subsidiary of Arcosa, is beginning operations at its Clinton location north of town at the former Arcosa Wind Tower facility. Talent Acquisition Manager Michelle Durham told the Hart Media Group they will be manufacturing tubular steel structures.
Meyer Utility Structures is an industry leader in the engineering, design, and fabrication of concrete, tubular steel structures for transmission, distribution, and substation applications. Here at this particular plant in Clinton, we will actually be fabricating tubular steel structures.
Meyer will be looking to hire around 30 laborers. Durham indicates they have a variety of skilled labor openings they will be interviewing for this Wednesday and Saturday at their location on Tabor Road, north of Clinton.
We are going to need a whole host of positions. Right now, we're looking for sub-arc welders, overhead crane operators, maintenance technicians, both mechanical as well as folks who are more on the electrical side. We are looking for several material handlers, a welding school instructor. I need an EHS manager, a materials manager, many welders. We need some fitter welders, and then senior level fitter welders, looking for a plant HR manager and a quality manager. Very, very well paying positions. We do feel like that we have priced ourselves appropriately within the area and extremely competitive with any of the other employers here in the area. So we're having two job fairs. The first one is going to be Wednesday, February 4th from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. We are going to have folks come in, apply directly while you're here at the job fair. You'll interview on site. And many of those positions will be able to actually make offers and have people leave with offers in hand. Okay. And again, that was Wednesday, February 4th from 4 to 7. And then we also have a time on Saturday for those folks who can't make it Wednesday evening. So Saturday, February 7th, we'll be here from 8:30 to 11:30.
Durham says it is an open interview process. Applicants should come ready with their resumes and could be offered a job at that time. Again, those hiring events come up on Wednesday, February 4th from 4 to 7 p.m. and Saturday, February 7th from 8:30 to 11:30 a.m. at the Meyer location off Tabor Road, north of Clinton, off U.S. Highway 51. Visit arcosa.com and find the careers tab and look for the Clinton area jobs. The plant hopes to have around 100 jobs hired by the end of the year, with more to come in 2027. A typical winter week is likely ahead in central Illinois. That's according to Ed Shimon at the National Weather Service in Lincoln, who on the WHOW Morning Show Monday told the Hart Media Group the highlight of the week will be slight warm-ups to bookend the week.
It's actually not going to be too bad. Not seeing a lot of precipitation at all. I mean, for a while we were targeting Tuesday for a little band of snow, maybe a couple inches even. But as time has gone on, that was Friday's kind of solution. And then as we come into Monday here, that shifted way south. So, we're actually going to be, roughly around freezing today, a little bit below tomorrow. as a cold front kind of comes through, 29 for a high. Then we clear out, sunshine on Wednesday, but colder, 26, mid-20s, not bad, but it's 10 below normal. And then we warm up above freezing for the late part of the week, 32 Thursday, 38 Friday. No precipitation that I'm seeing in there, nothing, And then we have a cold front Friday night, so highs on Saturday, about 28, and then on Sunday back up to 34. So, not too bad. Lows are going to be in the teens to low 20s, maybe a mid-20 on Thursday night, but not painful.
Mm-hmm.
No real precipitation of note. So it's going to kind of be just a typical winter week and no real travel problem.
Looking through the rest of February, Shimon indicates there is an above normal signal for temperatures. It starts next week when we could see some days in the mid to upper 40s.
Above normal temps in the 6 to 10 day and the 8 to 14 all the way through the 15th of February is looking above normal temperatures. So that should put us in the 40s because, this month mid 30s is normal and 40s aren't that far away. So, and we're in the 40th to 50th percentile of tendency toward above normal temperatures all the way through the middle of the month. So that looks pretty good. Precipitation wise, when I looked out into the fantasy forecast of our American model, it looks like rain on the 12th and the 14th. The next two systems that are coming in are going to be warm during that warm spell. And we're more than likely going to have rain as our next set of measurable rain, measurable precipitation.
By the end of the month, high temperatures start to get into the 40s. Shimon indicates that the last few weeks of February are showing a below normal temperature trend and after a warm up in the middle of the month.
Sure. February starts off around 36 for a high, 18 for a low. And actually we warm up quite a bit. Normal highs are 45 by the end of the month. Normal low is 26. So that's going to feel real nice if we can start to peg near above normal. But the 3 to 4 week outlook actually shows below normal temperatures for the last half of February. We may have a little lobe of cold air come back and bite us at some point in that last 2 weeks of the month to tip the balance for those 2 weeks in the below normal range. Enjoy the warm up around Valentine's Day.
Heading into the spring, Central Illinois could really use some substantial rain. However, there are concerns if we were to get some as conditions currently stand. We'll have more with that with Shimon later this week from the Hart Media Group. Get news anytime from your computer or your mobile device at DeWitt County's #1 source for news, sports, police blotter, obituaries, and more. It's DeWittDailyNews.com.
Hey, it's Shane from Highway 51 Exchange, your mower and equipment service pros just south of Clinton. Click our banner ad on DeWittDailyNews.com or give us a call to schedule your free pickup and delivery today. Highway 51 Exchange.
This winter, your to-do list should include hot cocoa, and that's about it. At Hickory Point Garden Homes, snow removal and winter upkeep are already handled so you can enjoy an easier winter. Schedule a tour today by clicking their icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Tuning in and listening to the news, hearing what's happening with local views across the country or in my town. I tune in to find out what's going down. Hey, local radio, keeping me informed in my community. Local radio creates unity.
From the Hart Media Group Sports Desk, IL Sports Wire, and DeWittDailyNews.com, I'm Ben Hubbard with this local sports report. Ryan Donato had 2 goals and 2 assists, and the Chicago Blackhawks beat the San Jose Sharks 6-3 on Monday night. Ila Mikheyev added a goal and 3 assists in Chicago's final home game before the Olympic break. Connor Bedard, Connor Murphy, and Sam Renzel also scored, and Spencer Knight made 24 saves. The Blackhawks had lost 5 in a row. They improved to 3-6-2 in their last 11 games. Macklin Celebrini had a goal and an assist for San Jose, which dropped to 1-2-1 on a 5-game trip. Will Smith and Shakir Mukadalamin also scored. Chicago opened a 4-0 lead with 3 goals in the first part of the second period, highlighted by Donato's 12th of the season. The veteran forward made a nifty move on San Jose defenseman Vincent Descharnes before beating Yaroslav Askarov at 9 minutes and 35 seconds. San Jose closed to 5-3 on Mukhamadulin's slick backhand 2 minutes and 13 seconds into the third, but Donato knocked in a rebound for Chicago with 5 minutes and 19 seconds remaining. The Blackhawks played without captain Nick Foligno, who missed his second straight game with a mid-body injury. The 20-year-old Bedard scored for the third consecutive game when he converted a one-timer 7 minutes into the first period. It was the team's first power play goal since January 10th at Nashville. It went 0 for 26 with a man advantage over the previous 10 games. Bedard has 23 goals in 43 games, matching his career high in 82 games last season. He also has 21 career power play goals, passing Patrick Kane for the most by a Blackhawk player before turning 21. Both teams are on the road Wednesday night. San Jose faces the Colorado Avalanche, and Chicago takes on the Columbus Blue Jackets. Steven Stamkos scored twice in the third period to help the Nashville Predators rally for a 6-5 victory over the St. Louis Blues on Monday night. Ryan O'Reilly scored twice, and Michael McCarron and Philip Forsberg added goals for Nashville. The Predators scored 5 straight goals to erase a 4-goal deficit and win their second straight. Pavel Buchnevich scored twice, and Jake Neighbors, Philip Broberg, and Colton Perico also scored for St. Louis, losers of 7 of 8. Joel Hofer made 22 saves, and Jordan Kyrou had 3 assists. Justice Annunen stopped all 14 shots he faced in relief of Juuse Saros for Nashville. Saros was lifted at 3 minutes and 55 seconds of the second after allowing 5 goals on 21 shots. Broberg and Perico scored 30 seconds apart early in the second to give the Blues a 5-1 lead. O'Reilly drew Nashville within 1 at 2 minutes and 2 seconds of the third, and Stamkos tied it at 7 minutes and 14 seconds when his wraparound attempt deflected off Perico's skate into the net. Stamkos scored the winner with 9 minutes and 37 seconds to go when he tapped home a loose puck at the right post. Nashville captain Roman Josi had a season-high 4 assists, and Luke Evangelista tied a career high with 3. The Blues are at Dallas on Wednesday night, while the Predators host Minnesota on Wednesday night. The Seattle Mariners acquired All-Star infielder and outfielder Brendan Donovan from the St. Louis Cardinals on Monday night in a 3-team trade with the Tampa Bay Rays. Seattle sent infielder Ben Williamson to the Rays and a pair of minor league prospects to the rebuilding Cardinals, pitcher Jurangelo Ciante and outfielder Ty Pete. St. Louis also received a 2026 competitive balanced round B draft pick, 68th overall from the Mariners. Tampa Bay shipped minor leaguer outfielder Colton Ledbetter and competitive balanced round B draft pick this year, 72 overall, to the Cardinals. Donovan, who is 29, was a first-time All-Star last year when he batted .287 with 10 home runs, 50 RBIs, and a .775 OPS. Over a 4-year Major League career, he has hit .282 with 40 homers, 97 doubles, and a .772 OPS. He also won a Utility Player Gold Glove as a rookie in 2022. Donovan has a $5.8 million one-year contract. He is eligible for arbitration again next winter and is on track to be eligible for free agency after the 2027 World Series. He could slot into the middle of the Mariners' batting order in the way Jorge Polanco did last season. Polanco hit 26 homers and became a free agent and signed a $40 million 2-year contract with the New York Mets. Donovan has started 202 career games at second base, 139 in left infield, and 29 at third base, and 23 in right field. He was primarily at second base for the Cardinals last year, starting 91 games there. Considering the Mariners parted ways with Williamson and elected not to re-sign Eugenio Suarez, Donovan could make sense for Seattle at third base. Also in the fold is highly regarded shortstop prospect Colt Emerson, who played 6 games for AAA Tacoma last year. To make room for Williamson on the 40-man roster, Tampa Bay left-hander Ken Waldachuk was designated for assignment. Williamson hit .253 with 1 home run and 21 RBIs with above-average defense at third base as a rookie for Seattle last year. The 22-year-old Sahente was selected 15th overall by the Mariners in 2024 in the amateur draft. He went 5 for 7 with a 3.99 ERA and 120 strikeouts over 108 1/3 innings last year in the minors. Pete, 20, was drafted 30th overall by the Mariners in 2023 across 3 seasons in Seattle's farm system. He batted .247 with 28 home runs, 154 RBIs, 76 stolen bases, and a .724 OPS in 1,166 plate appearances. Ledbetter, 24, was chosen by the Rays in the second round of the 2023 draft. He hit .269 with 25 home runs and 126 RBIs in 253 games across 3 minor league seasons with Tampa Bay. The Chicago White Sox acquired right-hander Jordan Hicks from Boston on Sunday as the Red Sox gave up one of their top pitching prospects to unload most of Hicks' salary. The key to the deal for Chicago could be pitching prospect David Sandlin, who has been ranked by Baseball America as the number 7 prospect and number 2 pitching prospect in the Red Sox organization. White Sox general manager Chris Getz said Sandlin, a 24-year-old righty who split time last year in AAA and AA, will compete for a spot in the rotation at spring training. Boston also will send 2 players to be named and cash to Chicago in the deal that will bring right-handed prospect Gage Ziehl and a player to the Red Sox. Hicks had been owed $25 million over the next 2 seasons, a liability that came with a hefty payroll tax for Boston. Hicks, 29, was 1-2 with a 8.20 ERA in 21 relief appearances for the Red Sox last season after losing his job in the Giants rotation and coming to Boston in the deal that sent All-Star third baseman Rafael Devers to San Francisco. He went on the injured list as of September 4th with right shoulder tendonitis and did not pitch again. The White Sox traded center fielder Luis Robert Jr. to the New York Mets last month, and Getz said they would reinvest the $20 million in savings in the team. He then signed right-hander Sir Anthony Dominguez to a 2-year, $20 million deal and added Hicks. Sandlin, a 24-year-old righty, is 13-12 with a 4.38 ERA in 4 minor league seasons. To make room for Hicks and Sandlin on the 40-man roster, the White Sox designated right-hander Jaro Irarte and catcher Drew Romo for assignment. Ziehl is a 22-year-old 11th-round pick who has pitched 1 game above Class A. Former Arizona Cardinals head coach Jonathan Gannon is joining the Green Bay Packers staff as defensive coordinator. Coach Matt LaFleur announced the hire of Gannon on Monday. Gannon will take over for Jeff Hafley, who left after 2 seasons when the Miami Dolphins hired him as head coach. The Cardinals fired Gannon the day after their season ended with a 9th straight loss. Gannon went 15-36 in 3 years, including a 3-14 record this past season. Gannon had been the Philadelphia Eagles defensive coordinator for 2 seasons before Arizona hired him. In his second season in Philadelphia, the Eagles ranked 2nd in the NFL in total defense and won the NFC Championship before losing 38-35 to the Kansas City Chiefs in Super Bowl 57. Arizona ranked 27th in yards allowed per game, and 22nd in yards allowed per play, and 29th in points allowed per game this past season. Gannon takes over a defense that ranked 12th in yards allowed per game, 9th in yards allowed per play, and 11th in points allowed per game this past season. Green Bay's defense ranked higher earlier in the season, but struggled after season-ending injuries to all-pro pass rusher Micah Parsons and defensive lineman Devontae Wyatt. The Packers dropped their last 5 games of the season, finishing 9-8-1, including a 31-27 wildcard playoff loss to the Chicago Bears. The Packers led by at least 9 points in the second half of 3 of those losses and allowed 25 points in the fourth quarter of their playoff defeat at Chicago. Parsons tore his left anterior cruciate ligament on a December 14th loss at Denver. Parsons had said that he hopes to be back for the start of the 2026 season, but added that a week 3 or week 4 return is a more realistic scenario. Linebacker Quay Walker, who led the Packers in tackles each of his 4 seasons in Green Bay, has played out his contract and would be a free agent. In scores from around the NBA last night, the Charlotte Hornets beat the Pelicans 102-95, while the Indiana Pacers fell to the Houston Rockets 118-114. The Memphis Grizzlies beat the Minnesota Timberwolves 137-128, and the Philadelphia 76ers took down the LA Clippers 128-113. In NCAA men's basketball, number 14 UNC took down Syracuse 87-77, and number 11 Kansas beats number 13 Texas Tech 64-61. In the NHL, the Buffalo Sabres beat the Florida Panthers 5-3. The Washington Capitals took down the New York Islanders 4-1. The Ottawa Senators beat the Pittsburgh Penguins 3-2. The Minnesota Timberwolves beat the Montreal Canadiens 4-3 in overtime. The same score, 4-3 in overtime, was what the Dallas Stars used to beat the Winnipeg Jets. The Detroit Red Wings shut out the Colorado Avalanche 2-0. The Utah Mammoth beat the Vancouver Canucks 6-2. And the Toronto Maple Leafs beat the Calgary Flames 4-2. Get highlights of your local high school program by finding IL SportsWire on your preferred social media platforms, and get local sports anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Here's Matt Hart, owner of the Hart Media Group in Clinton.
It's been great. You and Ben and the entire team are doing a great job. And we're just continuing on serving the local community, right? This is what this is all about. We're here to serve our local community. We're here to tell the local stories. We're here to cover the news. So nothing in that regard is changing. Our goal is connecting people. And that's our tagline at Hart Media Group. It's connecting people.
Hart purchased the Miller Media Group in August of 2025 and looks forward to serving the community for years to come.
Hello, I'm Dr. Schuster with Covenant Animal Clinic. We're thrilled to sponsor the Adopt a Pet page on DeWittDailyNews.com. Simply look for the icon beside the masthead and you'll discover all the lovable cats and dogs at DeWitt County Animal Shelter, hoping to find their perfect family. While you're there, you can even complete an adoption application right online. Please help us share the message about these wonderful animals who are ready for a loving home. After all, a happy pet is a healthy pet.
SurfPro of Pye and DeWitt counties is proud to be the exclusive sponsor of severe weather coverage across all WHOW platforms, AM, FM, and streaming online, as well as on WEZC, your easy choice for soft hits at 95.9 FM. Whether it's wind, rain, or even snow, you'll stay informed with severe weather updates around the clock. When severe weather strikes, we break in anytime to bring you the critical information you need to keep your family safe. Brought to you exclusively by SurfPro of Pye and DeWitt counties, your local fire, storm, and water restoration experts. Here's Clinton Save-A-Lot owner Dave Jackson on how he works to save you money every day.
I watch the Decatur market very carefully. I stay under these, supposed low-price chains. I make sure I'm under them. So anybody that's rushing to Decatur or other towns to buy commodity items like flour and sugar and milk and eggs and things that matter are fooling themselves. We are cheaper or as cheap on all the items that matter, and I make sure of that.
And as Dave always says,
hope to see you soon.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason in Washington. The House is gearing up for a vote today on ending the 4-day-old partial government shutdown. The government, except for the Department of Homeland Security, would be funded through September. DHS would get 2 weeks of funding while lawmakers debate reforms in ICE. New York City's new Democratic Socialist mayor is facing a barrage of criticism, and it's not only because mountains of rat-infested garbage have been piling up in the streets of the city. Every Homeland Security officer on the ground, and that includes ICE agents, being issued body cameras. Homeland Security Secretary Noem says it will start in Minneapolis and will eventually go nationwide. Ukrainian President Zelensky says Russia has launched another major attack with around 450 drones and 70 missiles. The Dow futures are down 13 points, and the NASDAQ futures are up 142. More details, srnnews.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-366-6161. That's 800-366-6161. 800-366-6161.
From the Heart Media Group newsroom and DeWittDailyNews.com, I'm Ben Hubbard with this local news update. A typical winter week is likely ahead in central Illinois. That's according to Ed Shimon at the National Weather Service in Lincoln, who on the WHOW Morning Show Monday told the Heart Media Group the highlight of the week will be slight warm-ups to bookend the week.
It's actually not going to be too bad. Not seeing a lot of precipitation at all. I mean, for a while we were targeting Tuesday for a little band of snow, maybe a couple inches even. But as time has gone on, that was Friday's kind of solution. And then as we come into Monday here, that shifted way south. So, we're actually going to be, roughly around freezing today, a little bit below tomorrow as a cold front kind of comes through, 29 for a high. Then we clear out, sunshine on Wednesday, but colder, 26, mid-20s, not bad, but it's 10 below normal. And then we warm up above freezing for the late part of the week, 32 Thursday, 38 Friday. No precipitation that I'm seeing in there, nothing, And then we have a cold front Friday night, so highs on Saturday, 28, and then on Sunday back up to 34. So, not too bad. Lows are going to be in the teens to low 20s, maybe a mid-20 on Thursday night, but not painful. No real precipitation of note. So it's going to kind of be just a typical winter week and no real travel problem.
Looking through the rest of February, Shimon indicates there is an above normal signal for temperatures. It starts next week when we could see some days in the mid to upper 40s.
Above normal temps in the 6 to 10 day and the 8 to 14 all the way through the 15th of February is looking above normal temperatures. So that should put us in the 40s because, this month mid 30s is normal and 40s aren't that far away. So, and we're in the 40th to 50th percentile of tendency toward above normal temperatures all the way through the middle of the month. So that looks pretty good. Precipitation wise, when I looked out into the fantasy forecast of our American model, it looks like rain on the 12th and the 14th. The next two systems that are coming in are going to be warm during that warm spell. And we're more than likely going to have rain as our next set of measurable rain, measurable precipitation.
By the end of the month, high temperatures start to get into the 40s. Shimon indicates that the last few weeks of February are showing a below normal temperature trend after a warm-up in the middle of the month. Heading into the spring, central Illinois could really use some substantial rain. However, there are concerns if we were to get some as conditions currently stand. We'll have more on that with Shimon later this week at the Heart Media Group. Get news anytime from your computer or your mobile device at DeWittDailyNews.com.
This is staff meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with your regional radio forecast. Slight chance of snow today, otherwise overcast. High temperatures reach up to 30. Winds out of the northeast, 8 to 15 miles per hour. Lows dip down to about 11. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times. Tomorrow, highs level off around 27. Hear weather twice an hour or online anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com. Currently, it's 27 degrees.
MR Systems Wireless is your local internet provider for Clinton and surrounding area. They have the products you want and the local service you deserve. MR Systems Wireless Internet service for home or business includes unlimited data, unlimited streaming, and unlimited calling. Plans start at just $48 a month and get a free Roku 4 lease with our media packages. Get the speed you need with MR Systems Wireless. Call them at 935-2100. That's 935-2100 for MR Systems Wireless.
If the flu's got you down, the Warner Hospital and Health Services Walk-In Clinic can help you feel better fast. CEO Paul Skowron inviting you to make us your backup plan to better health. Find out more by clicking our icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
DeWittDailyNews.com is the area's leading local news source 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Get the latest local news, obituaries, police blotter, weather forecast, and more with no paywall. Head to DeWittDailyNews.com to get the local information you need to know.
You're listening to a best of segment of the WHOW Morning Show, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Again, this is a best of the WHOW Morning Show.
You're in Central Illinois. WHOW.
Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest on the Zoom today is Lincoln Mayor Tracy Welch. Mr. Mayor, good to see you, sir. And I know we're 16 days in now, but Happy New Year.
Thanks. You as well.
Yeah.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for making time for us. Always good to have you on the program. And tell you what, Mr. Mayor, a lot going on in Lincoln these days. One thing we've been talking about for quite some time, and I know this has been ongoing, administrations past and even before that, 5th Street project, and trying to get some updates to that road out there. For residents in Lincoln, they know that's a pretty tough stretch on 5th Street at some places, and sounds like maybe some movement. What's going on there?
Yeah, this is the project that never ends. It started in 1996, if you can believe it.
I can't believe that. No.
Yeah, we've had money earmarked for decades for this project, and the scope of the project's changed over the years. But today is the day for letting with IDOT, and unless something comes up unexpected, the project is going to move forward. So we couldn't be more excited about it. I know the people that live out there and work out there, they're excited. They deserve a new road out there. They've deserved it for a long time. And it looks like we're going to finally be able to deliver that for them.
Sure. Tell me a little bit about the scope of the project now. I know like you mentioned, it's been altered several times in the last, 30 years, I guess now?
Yeah.
How about that? How about where we're at with this project? What's going to go on?
Yeah, it started out as a 3-lane road with a nice bike path and turn lane in the center and stuff like that. It's been reduced down. The bike path will still be there, but it's just dirt. If we want to come back and finish that later, we can. It is down to a 2-lane. We removed the turn lane out of there, but it'll be a completely resurfaced road, from shoulder to shoulder. We have some drainage issues that we need to address on that road from the housing areas that are out there and stuff. So we've already got that plan in place. We've been doing some preliminary work that we can do. So it's going to be probably about a 2-year project, and it's going to be phased because there's just an awful lot of traffic out there, and we're going to have to work through that. So people are going to be inconvenienced a little bit, but in the end, we'll have the road that was promised by many past administrations finally.
Yeah. So where will the work begin? Where will it end? And what's kind of the first priority in some of this stuff then?
Yeah, it'll start there at the intersection right where the bowling alley is on 5th Street. It'll go out past Conley Road, which is, out past where Cisco is out there.
Mm-hmm.
So part of that is a partnership with the county. They've had some money earmarked for their section of the road as well out there. So a pretty good stretch. It'll probably be broke out into 3 phases that we're looking at. So
yeah. One of the things with that project, Mr. Mayor, was land acquisition. That's really, from what I understand, kind of slowed it up for a long time, was just because of the scope of what they had planned. They had to purchase up all the land and those sorts of things. Will the city maintain ownership of that land, and will where you purchase be impacted at all?
Yeah, any of the parcels that we purchased will maintain those parcels and we'll own them. There were several easements that we got, and that was also part of the issue, was that we signed these temporary easements for the project, and then as we've said here, the project has gone on so long that some of those easements have expired, so we've had to go back multiple times and renew easements, and that was part of the decision to reduce the scope of the project. It wasn't just money, because that project has gone up significantly even since I've been there, but it was money, and then it was also land acquisition and stuff like that.
I didn't know that. I didn't realize that. Gotcha. Interesting. So you mentioned that the bids go out to, or the bids, or the was RFP, is that what they call them now, or?
Yeah, they'll put the work out for bid once we get the contractor in place.
Okay, yeah. So when do you hope to have groundbreaking and dirt moving?
I would like to have it done here in the spring, but we're kind of at the mercy of multiple things. IDOT allowing us to move forward. It depends on how fast we can go through the process to get a contractor in place. Then they got to bid out the work to subcontractors and things like that. But I'd love to see shovels in the ground by spring.
All right, very good. Will it take all summer to get that done?
It could take a greater part of this year to get all the pieces in place and get dirt moving.
Gotcha. Very good. So, yeah, good news on that front for sure. Lincoln Mayor Tracy Welch, my guest on the Zoom here for this morning. Mr. Mayor, some news out of your fire department and some exploration going on as well. What do you got going on in the fire department these days?
Yeah, this past week, we talked about a new fire engine. So we do have a fire engine that's pretty old. It's over 20 years old. And when you get equipment that old, things start breaking, and then the maintenance costs just go through the roof. And so the fire chief brought this to us this week. He'd like for us to consider purchasing a new fire engine. I think the cost is $1.3 million, somewhere in that area. But here's the catch. If council authorizes this coming week, which I believe they will, we won't see that fire engine for 3 years. So that specialized fire equipment, it's on back order. So we'll put our order in, we'll get in line, and then we'll just have to make do with the equipment that we have in the meantime.
Yeah, it takes a while for sure. I remember Clinton went through that process about 10 years ago now, and it was only a year wait at that point, if I remember right. But I'm sure everything is backlogged now, definitely. You were telling me as well, maybe doing some exploration on a new fire station. We're going through that over here in Clinton. What are you folks in Lincoln looking at?
Yeah, so if you're familiar with the layout of Lincoln, we have railroad tracks that run through the center of town for the most part. And not necessarily, it's an inconvenience for many people, but where it becomes a real problem is when first responders are trying to get to the west side of town and address emergency situations, whether it be a medical call, a fire that's going on, support of the police department, whatever that may be. So we're trying to address that barrier that we have. And we have a council member, Alderman Bateman. He's been looking into this for a while, and he's looking into what land is available on that west side of town, and is some of it available? Can we acquire it? And then ultimately, can we build a small substation on the west side of town that can house staff? It can house some of the equipment, and then they can respond quicker.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So is there much in the way of opportunity on the west side of town in terms of land and that sort of thing?
Yeah, there is. He's got a lead on a couple good parcels out there. And what we're proposing won't necessarily take a whole lot of land. It's got to be convenient for the trucks to get in and out, not disrupt other businesses and people out there. But he's looking into a couple parcels that I think will be good.
Gotcha. So will you then split the equipment you have? Because aren't the fire engines housed downtown right now?
They are. Yeah, we've actually got what we call the Hamilton Street Garage.
Yeah.
It's an old building that sits on a lot next to City Hall, and we put the fire engines in there now. So ideally, if we can get a fire engine, and this is, a wish list, but if we can get a substation on the west side, free up some space in that building, it's a very old building. It would be ideal for us to tear that down and put a new Morton building on that empty lot that we own next to City Hall.
Yeah, I was going to ask, would this secondary fire station be kind of a pole barn in a way?
Yeah, I mean, I think we can get it done with a Morton type structure.
Yeah,
but we'll just have to look. I mean, it all boils down to money and what things cost, right? So
yeah,
because like that police station that we did, we issued bonds, and that was an old school building, our police station on Fifth Street, and I believe our bonds were like $2.8 million for us to purchase the building, which I think, if I remember correctly, we got for like $70,000, and then to purchase the building and then do all of the rehab on it. So we got almost $3 million wrapped up in that building, and that was a few years back.
Right.
So,
yeah. You don't want to keep stacking debt on debt, right? So.
Yep.
Right.
So that's
the
game.
What about grants and such? Would there be some grant opportunities for something like that?
Yeah, there's always grants out there. We constantly are looking for grants, not just for that, but for park improvements and, enhancements to the city, like the pavilion. We're looking into a grant for that. Scott McCoy, our director of tourism, he actually just got a $411,000 grant working with the Tourism Bureau for Logan County. So we're putting a lot of that money into the new building and the museum and the exhibits and stuff. So the money's out there. You just got to look for it and you got to apply for it.
Sure. Very good. Well, Mr. Mayor, anything on that topic we didn't get to you want to put out there for us?
Nope.
Very good. I'll tell you what, let's break here, my friend, and come back with some more with Lincoln Mayor Tracy Welch on the Zoom with us. Plenty more to get to coming up on the morning show.
Let's check the opening numbers now at the Chicago Board of Trade on this Tuesday. I'm Jim Taylor on the RFD Radio Network. Corn slightly higher, beans higher, and wheat opening slightly higher. March corn starting today, 426 up 1/4. May corn up 1/4, 433 3/4. And December new crop, 455 1/4, up 1/2 penny. March beans opening 1069 1/4, up 9. May beans up 9, 1081 1/2. November new crop 1083 1/4, up 8. March Chicago wheat 528 1/2, up 3/4. May wheat up 1/2 penny, 537. July wheat 547 3/4, up 1/4. March KC wheat 534 3/4, down 1/2 penny. March bean meal 293.10, down $1.40, and March bean oil 54.64, up $1.44. Opening numbers on this Tuesday morning. Jim Taylor, RFD Radio Network.
This is it. Baum Chevrolet Buick offers full transportation options while giving you peace of mind. This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick here in Clinton. This is what we do every day. We listen to you, give you options for routine maintenance, major mechanical problems, or collision repairs with a staff that's knowledgeable to find the best option for you. Baum Chevrolet Buick, your full service dealer. See us at baumchevybuick.com right from the start.
Here's Matt Hart, owner of the Hart Media Group in Clinton, talking about continuing to serve the community through new ownership.
Things came together and we reached an agreement to purchase. And as you mentioned, we closed August the 1st. So as August the 1st, Miller Media Group is now Hart Media Group. And we're continuing to serve the people of Clinton and DeWitt County and Monticello and Bloomington and Decatur and everywhere, because we'll just keep connecting people as we've been doing.
The Hart Media Group looks forward to continuing to serve the community for years to come.
You're listening to a best of segment of the WHOW Morning Show, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Again, this is a best of the WHOW Morning Show.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Once again, a good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest on the Zoom is Lincoln Mayor Tracy Welch. Mr. Mayor, let's take this time and recap 2025 and look ahead to 2026. What were some of the highlights in Lincoln from your perspective in the year 25?
Yeah, I would say that the biggest thing that we did this year was probably tourism. I mean, that was a big endeavor that we took over. We were in partnership with the Logan County Tourism Bureau, and we decided to stand up our own department. Big purchase was the building. It's known as the Heartland Bank building. We're going to start calling it the Lincoln Center, that whole complex. But we bought that building. It's for the museum, our offices, and this new economic development initiative that we got going on. So that was huge. It continues to be. There's a lot of work to be done in there. We hired a new tourism director. I've had some changeover in council members since then, and everything's going well. Did some restorations and stuff on City Hall last year. We did windows, roofs, the elevator, hallways. We did a lot of revamp there. We enhanced our holiday displays and the lights throughout town for the holidays. We did a lot of that. Roads, we continue to do roads. We do that every year. The chief of police, the Safety Act still continues to be challenging for us in our community. And our chief of police has been really good about expanding what we started out as calling the Downtown Safety Initiative. And it's really a surveillance system that's pretty high tech. He continued to expand on that one. We're actually just getting another camera installed here soon. We continued to move forward with the dog park. We laid plans out for 2026 for the pavilion. We had a lot of big things that I think we've accomplished, but we've got an awful lot more to do.
Really, kind of some things that took place laid the foundation for 2026. The tourism piece really lays the foundation for what's ahead in 2026.
Yeah, it really does. 2026, as many people know by now, is the centennial for Route 66. And so that was what drove some of our decision was we got to get ready for this. If we're going to put our best foot forward and we're going to get people off the road, we got to be ready for it. And bringing in Scott McCoy as our director has proven to be one of the best decisions that we've made. And the guy is a hard worker. He's got a great vision. He's well connected to Route 66. And I think Lincoln is going to greatly benefit from our relationship with him. And, it's not just the fact that we have a great director. Scott loves Lincoln. He spends a lot of time here. He lives in Bloomington, but he spends an awful lot of time here. So, but you're right. We laid the foundation in 2026 in tourism. Come spring, we're trying to get this museum opened up by April 1st.
Yeah.
It's a lofty goal. We got a lot to do, but I think we're going to hit the mark.
Yeah, sure. Well, we talked about one of the big things coming in 2026, of course, is the, resurfacing of 6th Street. Like we said, a project that's been long in the making, finally coming to fruition. Anything else coming up in 26, whether it be streetscape work, whether it be continued development of certain areas of the community you've been focusing on? What do you have vision for 2026, Mr. Mayor?
Yeah. So I actually did an interview. Well, not an interview. I mean, we have a CEO program down here,
right?
And I meet with the CEO students every year. And one of the quotes that came out of it I saw online yesterday was, "My vision is to move the city forward." Now that seems pretty generic and kind of everything falls under the umbrella. But what I was talking about at the time was we can't move the city forward and make this a place where everybody wants to move to live and stuff. If we're looking back, if we're looking at the way things have been and the way things have been done, we've got to adjust with the times, and we got to move forward and build a community that people want. So to your point, a lot of the stuff we've done has laid foundation for that. So for me, now that we've got tourism going, I'm going to spend an awful lot of time on economic development. There was a Facebook post here this week about some ideas that people could have for things for kids to do. I've been kicking some of that around. So, we didn't have a chamber, and we haven't for a while. So our partnership with LEAD and the Economic Development Center is going to be huge. We've already got people in there. LEAD's already in the building working. But we're going to start working on a community development plan, a strategic plan. We're going to get all the ducks in a row to help our businesses, not just attract businesses, but retain the ones that we have and help them out. But then we also need to do some community type stuff. So there was an idea about a skate park, and I've heard about a youth center. I was looking into a youth center last year. Clinton, as you know, up there, you guys have the vault, and that place is a model for everybody to try to replicate because it's phenomenal.
Takes a lot of community support, it really does.
It does. And I want to look into stuff like that for us. I think anything's attainable if you get like-minded people together. The vault is proof of that. It's not just people and volunteers, it's your businesses support it, right? The kids love it. I've taken a couple tours and been in events over there. I'd love for Lincoln to have something like that.
Yeah, my kids. I've got a kid now old enough to be going to the vault, Mr. Meyer, and she enjoys it immensely. So it's a great resource. It really is. Strategic planning you touched on there. When was the last time Lincoln embarked on strategic planning?
The last one that we had in place was 2015, I believe. So
it's time.
It's well past time. The strategic plan, without getting into the weeds, was a controversial topic down here. But it's beyond time that we put a plan in place. We don't need a plan only for giving us a vision for moving forward and telling us what our goals are for the community. But we need to do that to get ready for applying for grants, partnering with the county, partnering with regional planning, all of that stuff. When you go apply for grants, those are the things they ask you for. Do you have a plan in place already? If you don't, well, we're going to move on to other people that do have a plan. So that community development that I mentioned, that's kind of a new initiative that I sat in on a meeting last week about. So we're going to kind of partner those two together with the strategic plan. And I think some really good stuff's going to come out of that. Now that's being led by Dorsey Hill, and she's a fellow that we have through a partnership between GPEDC and our local LEAD organization.
What's GPEDC?
But Dorsey, the Greater Peoria Economic Development Council, I think.
Okay.
We pay into it every year.
Okay.
And they really focus on the Peoria and surrounding areas. But Chris Setti over there and his team, I think we pay like I think right now we're paying $2,000 a year. We probably should be contributing more, but they help kind of pull us in on big initiatives that are going on, help us with economic development. They host a lot of roundtable discussions. So we get a great benefit out of that. And Dorsey's she's an example of that.
Yeah, sure. Well, we could probably talk on that topic, Mr. Mayor. Unfortunately, I am running out of time with you. So with that, how do folks learn about all things Lincoln, Illinois, keep up with what's going on in the community in 2026?
Yeah, I would say go to our website at lincolnil.gov or our Facebook page. Everything that we have going on, you can find on there.
Sure. Well, Mr. Mayor, like I said, Happy New Year. Looking forward to a full year of conversations with you ahead. Thanks for doing this with us, as always.
You as well.
Yeah, very good.
Take care, son.
Yeah, you too, Mr. Mayor. That is Lincoln Mayor Tracy Welch, our guest on the Zoom here for this morning. The morning show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin insurance agent in Clinton. Network news comes your way on the WHOW Morning Show.